morning, everyone. So today we are starting with the next topic of capital market, that is IPO related topic. So what do you mean by IPO? What are the eligibility norms? What are the pricing regime so far as IPO thing is concerned, and how you understand IPO documents? So first and foremost, what are the eligibility norms when it comes to IPO and FPO? These are the normal three routes which are used in IPO and FPO. The first and very common norm or route which is used for IPO is what is known as profitability, which basically talks about that you need to have certain criteria to be fulfilled in terms of distributable profit, in terms of monetary asset, in terms of net worth, and in terms of your name. Moreover, your pre-issue net worth should be 5 times higher than what you are having right now. So these are the norms which are related to your profitability, and if you are satisfying each and every criteria, then you can come up with IPO or FPO using this route. But the question is, there are certain companies which are good enough, however they are not able to match the previous criteria or previous points. So in that case, if you are unable to satisfy, then what should be the next thing which is available? So there are two more options which are given by SEBI to these kind of companies, or with the companies which are assumed to be very genuine. However, the fundamentals in terms of finances are not that good, probably because the company is new. So SEBI has given some flexibility, and SEBI has offered two other alternative routes, and these routes are norm 2, or what you call a route 2, that's QIB route, and third one which is what is known as appraisal route. So what do you mean by these two routes? QIB route is basically if you are not able to satisfy the previous profitability norms, then in that case you can come up with a IPO. However, your pricing method must be book building. You cannot use a fixed price method. Moreover, 75% of your issue will be subscribed, or it will be allocated to only one entity, which is known as QIB. The third route, which is known as appraisal route, in this particular route, the project for which you are needing a fund, that project should be appraised and participated by a bank and financial institution, which means SEBI is trying to protect the other retail investors which will probably invest in this particular IPO. So appraised and participated by FIs and banks, which means that somewhere down the lines, the banks and FIs, they already studied and analyzed this project. Moreover, they should be participating in the IPO in the tune of 50 to 10% respectively, whereas 10% is reserved for QIBs. So far as pricing regimes are concerned, there are two types of pricing, one which is known as book building and the another one is known as a fixed price. We'll be studying each one in detail. So first and very common one, which is known as book building. Book building is basically book building is basically pricing method in which you will be given a price band, or what you call a price range. There are two segments, one which is known as floor price and another one which is known as cap price. Floor price is the lowest segment of the range. Cap price is the highest segment of the range. Earlier this gap was 50%. However, in the current times, the range is the gap is between 10 to 15%. Issuer may give a price band or floor price in the red herring prospectus, which means it is not compulsory. You can give it after RHP also. If it is not given in the RHP, then it will be given before 2 working days of your IPO. So far as FPO is concerned, it's 1 day. The difference cannot be more than 20%. So as I said earlier, it was 50%. Now the range is more than 20%. It cannot be more than 20%. The last segment talks about the roughly bidding days, that is in terms of generally 3 days, but in exceptional cases it is 10 days. And in case if there are holidays or some issues, then it may happen that you can be given a bidding duration for 7 days. This one example which talks about the range which is given by Anand Rathi, one of the best company so far as the wealth related services are concerned. So they have given the price range of 530 and 550. What this means is, this is what is known as book building regime. Next method is what is known as fixed price method. So fixed price method means there is no range, there is only one price point which is given. For example, 120, for example 139. So this is what is known as fixed price. Price is known to the investors in advance. You will be given that at this price the stock is issued. Demand for security is known only after the closure, that is once the applications are received. Only after that the company will be able to know that whether the investors have filled the issue, yes or no. payment is made at the time of subscription and refund happens once the issue is closed. This is an example of a fixed price issue wherein you can see that it's a Ganesh Films India Limited. From draft prospectus, this screenshot is taken, and over here in the corner you can clearly see it's a fixed price. Here you can also see the price which is given, that is 80 rupees. 80 rupees means it's a single price point, that's a fixed price point. There's another concept in this pricing regime apart from the basic two methods, that is book building and fixed price. But just to help the company, there is one more facility which is given by SEBI, which is known as moving price band. What do you mean by moving price band? Moving price band is if you have come up with IPO and you are unable to get a proper subscription, then in that case, you can move the price in the direction of 20%. That is, you can reduce the price by 20% and probably you will be able to garner more investors subscription in that particular zone, and that is what is known as moving price band. That is, you can move your price in the tune of 20%. So this is an example in which you can see that it's an older example in which there's this company called Edlabs, a company which is headed by Anil Ambani Group. So this company came up with IPO and unfortunately they were not able to garner the investors interest, and because of that the company has used this concept called moving price band, and the company has reduced its price from 221 to 30 to 180 to 215. So that is an option available when you are coming up with the IPO. The last concept of primary market is what is known as reverse book building. So what do you mean by reverse book building? Till now we were talking about listing. This is the reverse of that. That is, I want to delist my company. So if I want to delist my company, again what I need to do is I need to buy back the shares from the public, and for that the entire process which is followed is what is known as reverse book building. That is, it is a mechanism for companies who want to delist their shares or buy back the shares from the shareholders, and they need to take at least 95% of shares from the market back, then and then the company will be assumed to be a delisted company. This is an example wherein this company called SR Oil was trying to get delisted multiple times, and I just wanted to explain that when the delisting process happens, what is the impact of that on the stock price. So the moment there is a news of a delisting, everyone will start rushing to buy the stock because they will be getting a premium when they are surrendering the stock, and that's how when the news of oil processing company, that is SR Oil, gained 30% nearby the time that the news came that company is interested in delisting, and company has already got the node from the SEBI that it can go for the delisting process. So thank you very much.